Hi everyone. Okay, so I was talking about this yesterday. Um, Imagine you're in a hospital room for a second. Imagine you're on a machine, and it shows a heart rate, and then imagine a flat line, but you're not unaliving. Just imagine that. Okay, Bold is kind of like that. It was like a straight line with a little flip in the thing, and then it was a flat line again. Okay, now I don't like to be right about the storylines because I said I can see the writing on the wall. And when Luna escaped the prison, then I knew she was going to go directly to the beach house. I knew that. And then it happened. Legitimately like that. And I'm like, well, geez, I want to be right, but not that right. Okay, so that was the main storyline today, and it was kind of weird because um, apparently from yesterday, um, what's her name, Electra. See, they gotta do character development. When I don't remember characters' names, there's a problem. Okay, but somehow Electra got pulled away from being at the beach house with Will, right? And so they must have had some discussion about I'll be right back as soon as I can, yada yada. So then I'm like, what pulled her away from the beach house? Well, we got our answer because uh, the ants pulled her away and said that they had to work on design right away. And I'm like, what? Okay. I mean, I believe in being conscientious and doing your work and everything, but okay, I just gotta say, I gotta put it out there. Well, if I had a boyfriend, it'd be different. But anyway, okay, I'm saying if I had a boyfriend, the caliber of Will, who looked like that, I would blow off work. I'm sorry. I mean, I mean, just just being honest here. Okay, but then again, it goes with the storyline because apparently they want, well, two things. They want to show Lisa Yamada because they clearly like her. But then also, I think they really want the storyline between Will and Luna by herself so that Electra can't be in the middle of it. And also, slightly, if Luna was going to be in an aliving and an unaliving mood, then they don't want to put Electra in danger because they like the coupling of those two. So it all fits together. Okay, now I'm going to get to that storyline in a minute. The thing that was a blip on our radar was okay, so Poppy and Lee, who are sisters, are having dinner together at the El Jordino's, right? Which is really odd because they are sisters. However, they do not have the sisterly relationship that you think of most of the time. They just don't have it. Okay? Because I've talked about it many times. But Lee considers Poppy too much of a free spirit, not a good mother, yada, 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 right? Okay. So when I see them two together, I think automatically what's going on, what's wrong. Because they're never together. Ever. So I'm like, okay. And then the coup de grace happens. And I cannot believe that they wrote it this way. And I cannot believe that Romy Park said it. What did she say? I'll get there. Give me a second. She says, well, Luna, I consider Luna completely unalive. Luna is completely unalive to me. I'm like, what? My jaw was on the floor, and then when I got my jaw off the floor, I was like, she said that about her own daughter. And then I thought back to what she said before, and I'm like, well, this is par for the course for her. Man, but I mean, I've heard of like weird family dynamics. I've heard of people who don't get along in the same family, but this is beyond. Whew. Mm-mm. Okay, so there were a couple scenes with Steffi and Finn, but they were boring. So yeah, the only thing that was kind of interesting slightly was she said that she's trying to give Luna the benefit of the doubt, but she can't because Luna tried to separate her from Kelly, Hayes, and him. So yeah, nothing new, par for the course. Okay, now the most interesting part for me was Luna had this whole idea in her head that if she escapes, I'm assuming here, I'm putting together my own thing here. Okay, I'm assuming that because she's pregnant with his child, she thought that if she escaped prison and got herself to his house, then he would just take her back, break up with Electra, and they would raise the family together and yada yada yada, and then eventually get married and whatever. And the reason I say that is because remember the flashback when I said it was totally a fantasy thing where she's like, they have her in a nice dress, and I mean a nice dress, and she's talking about, oh yeah, it's so good that I can't believe I married the most handsome man on the planet. I'm like, okay, this is totally fantasy. Remember that? That's what she thought was going to happen. Well, wake up, sweetheart. He said again that I don't want to be with you. I'll never want to be with you. And I have Electra. And the weird part is, I didn't even hear the speech. And I know that's what he said because he said it before. Okay, so I got to give credit to Lacey Yamada, man, because she, one, can cry on a dime, and she has a beautiful, ugly cry. Okay, now, I've talked about the crying on a dime thing before, right? I say cry on a dime, cry at the drop of a hat, the same thing, okay? But you have to be talented beyond to have a beautiful, ugly cry where you can still look good and ugly cry. That's talent. Man, they should give that girl an Oscar because, but psychologically, I feel bad for the character because she's either going to accept it and whatever, but more than likely not. And she might get in another unaliving mood. So batten down my hatches, man, because who knows? And judging on her past, I'd say it's the latter and not the former. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.